Welcome to the Search Bar, where we're exploring the idea of e-commerce potentially coming to ChatGPT. So rumor has it that OpenAI is working on a Shopify integration inside of ChatGPT. And if true, this could be a game changer for how we shop online. So here's a little video that we created of maybe what this could look like. This would be a big game changer, obviously. So I have Melissa here with me today, and Melissa, I was going to ask you, do you think this is true? Could Shopify be integrated into ChatGPT or an AI platform? Is this the future? And if so, I feel like this would really change the whole online shopping experience. What would that mean for online shopping?
Yeah, you have many questions in there. First, let's go through answering, do I think it's true? I think something is there. What was leaked was some code that had referenced, different types of e-commerce data points that you would normally use if you were writing the code within that. So is it Shopify? I guess we'll see. But I think it is a really interesting point for Amazons and Googles of the world to start to get a little bit worried about what would happen in an e-commerce world and the new shopping journey if these AI platforms come out with a one-stop, a one-click approach to shopping.
I mean, trackable links, searching, visually the way we do now, like so many things would change if that was the case. And obviously a lot of people are adopting these AI platforms. And if they can start to do more than just, rewrite things and answer the basic questions, that does change the game.
Yeah, I think of it too is when you think about the journey, maybe not the journey, but the behavior that you actually take within an engine. So like an AI engine like ChatGPT for Perplexity, sometimes you're going to ask something where it's going to give you a list of things to do or a list of things you might need to purchase, right? Like, how do I fix the brake light on the back of a car? It might give you some instructions of how to, and then it might say, you need this kind of a wrench, you need this kind of a whatever, you need this kind of a bolt, all of those pieces. And so instead of opening up, finding that wrench and then buying it off of whatever website and then opening up this other thing and buying it off of whatever other website, now you have the idea and the potential where it's like, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
totally.
And now you have things that came from so many different brands or retailers or platforms all in one potential place to shop them all. To me, the biggest thing that kind of comes to mind with this rumor, like where my mind started going with this rumor, is that this is maybe the first big competitor that hits up against Amazon's patent of their one-click shopping, where they really changed the world with frictionless marketing when they were able to remove all of those extra clicks to shop out, to get to that point of hitting your shopping to yourself. And so now with this potential integration, there's a lot of things you could foresee the future being with that would ease that shopping journey.
That's such a great point. And I can really see, a family searching for like, hey, give me 10 great board games for families with young children. It lists them out. And yes, you can immediately just add them to your cart.
Think about recipes.
Recipes. Yeah.
So you're saying, I want to make this recipe, and it literally has all of the ingredients right there. Now, granted, in that scenario, Shopify is not probably going to be able to fulfill all of those things because you're probably going to need a lot of like fresh produce. But The whole point is like, imagine what this could do to a shopping journey.
Yeah. And Shopify is arguably Amazon's biggest competitor right now in a lot of ways. I mean, Shopify is already an experience that can be easily added on to a lot of different websites, and it gives you a good user experience and the same user experience across multiple websites, so it feels comfortable. So, I mean, this is a good next step, for Shopify and for OpenAI. And also, I mean, if you go to ChatGPT right now, I mean, there's no ads. I mean, this is one of the reasons why it's a great experience. There's no ads. You go to Google, there's ads everywhere. And that's going to change. Like ChatGPT, like all these AI platforms will start to have all kinds of ads. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I mean, this is a way for them to start to make revenue, and same with other AI platforms. You're doing a search and everything, and it suggests an item for you, you buy it, and then obviously they get a little cut of that. So it makes
Well, I don't say obviously they get a cut of it. We don't know how they're going to set all of that up.
That's true. But this will financially benefit them in some way.
Well, yeah, because it will end up drawing in more users because it's a better user experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, it's it seems like it makes a lot of sense. And when you go to Amazon right now and you do a search, um, you can't have the same dialogue that you do on a ChatGPT
Correct.
right now. And it's not super smart when it comes to that. It's just keyword, keyword, keyword based. There's not a lot of intelligence behind it. Whereas if you go to ChatGPT and say like, hey, I'm looking for a gift for my 8-year-old nephew. He
Yep.
really likes these things and he lives in this area and he's into these sports. Like, what do you suggest? It can give you a great
Yep.
example. It can do that now, but then bam, it's right there, add
Yep.
to cart. So what would you say to brands that have e-commerce stores or they sell on Amazon or they have products? Is this concerning for them? Is this a huge opportunity? What can they do to prepare?
I think both and all of the above. So what I mean by that is if they're on Shopify already, this is already really good news for them because it means there's going to be another outlet, right? Another platform in which they're going to have more potential exposure of their products.
Yeah.
You asked if they're not on Shopify. So if you're not on Shopify and you already have some sort of other project management or product management system, then you might want to evaluate, you know what I mean, what you do there. Now, is ChatGPT, does it have enough traffic at this moment to say you need to switch to Shopify off of this rumor? No, not advocating any of that right now. Because ChatGPT isn't even as big as Google at this point. Like I was looking at a study today that was surmising all of the search engines and how much traffic they kind of get a day or how many searches happen on them a day versus the AI engines and how many search on them a day. It's still small. Like the
Google's way
target
bigger.
engines are
Yep.
still smaller. And Google and Bing and even DuckDuckGo is on this list. Like they have more searches happening on them per day. But what is interesting is the types of searches, and I know we've talked about this before, but like the types of searches that are happening within traditional search engines versus the types of searches that are happening within these generative AI engines are very different right now. And it's becoming more and more different each month where you have more branded things that are happening within the traditional search engines where you have more discovery and informational items that are happening within the AI engines and honestly within social as well. So where e-commerce folds into all of this is if you're thinking about discovery and awareness, that's where you want to make sure you're showing up within these emerging search engines of these AI engines and social for search. The traditional search engines like a Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, those are where it's more of that last click attribution type of approach where you're further down the funnel where you've maybe gotten exposure on these other ones and then you go over to a Google and then you want to validate that thing that I saw on social or the product that I saw in ChatGPT, is it something that I trust? So you normally hop over to Google to then do additional research and find more detail on it there before you actually purchase. So the purchasing journey is not changing yet, but with the leaked code that showed a potential of Shopify or e-commerce coming into ChatGPT really does make you start to think because, again, our world is just moving so fast right now. You know what I mean? In 3 months, the data could change and ChatGPT is
Totally.
a lot higher than it is right now. You know what I mean? It could triple in overnight if something happened in the world culturally that could change that.
Yeah. And I mean, you could say, hey, this is just a rumor. Maybe this won't happen. That's true. It is just a rumor and maybe this won't happen. I mean, maybe Shopify is not being integrated at all with ChatGPT right now. But the point is,
You can see that future happening.
this sounds like a pretty good experience in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. There is a lot of opportunity here. And this will happen in some way, shape, or form in the future. And so it's helpful to wrap your mind around it, be prepared for it, think about it, and think about, what opportunities. And Shopify won't be the only platform. I mean, Amazon's going to experiment with this as well. Amazon's going to have its own AI platform. I mean, it already does with Alexa in some ways, but that will become more visual in some ways. They'll add it into its app. I mean, it already does have an AI experience in its app, but it'll change more and more. And I mean, this is the future in some ways, so it's
Yeah.
helpful to wrap your mind around.
Yeah, yeah. No, anytime you have any sort of leaked data, leaked code, or rumor going around as a marketer, you need to think about the potentials and the possibilities that happen there and how you can use that to your advantage. Because the faster you already have a plan, or the sooner you have a plan or a strategy in place, if that's going to happen, the faster you're going to be able to kind of grandfather yourself into that win rather than being kind of the last one getting
Yeah.
in on that.
And we've talked about this before, but the key to predicting the future when it comes to technology and marketing is one word: it's convenience. What would be more convenient than what's currently happening?
Hmm.
That's the direction things will go. Is this more convenient?
Is it going to solve something for
Is it going
someone?
to solve someone? Yes. So convenience is always a good way to look at things. So again, it might not play it out exactly the way we're saying, but it will very similarly.
Yeah, I think the future continues to change faster and faster each day, and so it's just you got to stay on top of what's coming out there and how you can use it to your advantage.
So we will keep our eyes on this. Thanks for tuning in today. If either of us can ever speak at one of your events, talk about marketing, search marketing, anything like that, we would love to do so. Don't hesitate to reach out. And also, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next time.